Okay, everyone, Wednesday morning. Lovely to have you with me once again. In a fine mood today. Part of that may be that wonderful tie between Inter Milan and Barcelona, restoring a little bit of faith in modern football to be exciting. And first leg was brilliant. Second leg, even better. As one of my pals put it to me, even the VAR was exciting. And when that's the case, you know things are good. So, Inter Milan into the final. They'll play either PSG or Kieran Tierney's Arsenal. Again, a bit conflicted about who to support there. Don't really like Mikel Arteta. Quite like Kieran Tierney. PSG are a bit more exciting though, aren't they? So we'll find out that tonight. That'll be your Champions League final. But yes, of course, we are talking about Celtic today. Going to mention the Champions League in passing today because I'm going to be kind of looking forward a wee bit to what the summer looks like for Celtic. There's also, I guess, as part of that, the pre-season schedule, and that's starting to take shape a little bit. There was an announcement yesterday. It's one that I mentioned on the channel a couple of weeks ago, but it has now officially been announced by both Celtic and Newcastle United that we will meet Eddie Howe's League Cup winners at Celtic Park on Saturday the 19th of July at 3 p.m. This isn't any normal pre-season friendly though. The Adidas Trophy will be on the line, which is kind of exciting. I don't know about you, but oh God, I've always dreamed, growing up as a Celtic fan, dreamed that one day we'd have the chance to play for the Adidas Trophy. Of course, we've already won the Dafabet Cup or the Dafabet Trophy back in 2017, ironically against Newcastle's big rival Sunderland. Serious question, is the Dafabet Trophy in the Celtic trophy room? Because we got given a trophy for whacking Sunderland 5-0. And more to the point, is the Wembley Cup in the Celtic trophy room? If you have been on the Celtic Park tour recently and saw either of those trophies, please let me know. Yeah, given a pre-season friendly, some sort of major title, I guess paying maybe like £100, maybe slightly more than that for a new shiny trophy that I assume is going to be the wee Adidas shape, surely, if they've got any brains there. But they do it to make the game seem a bit more meaningful and more glamorous. And it may work with some people, but in reality, this is just going to be a friendly match at Celtic Park. We are going to see Eddie Howe at Celtic Park after all these years. We're also going to see Kieran Tierney back at Celtic Park after all these years. This will almost certainly be his return to Celtic Park. So an exciting one, but maybe Celtic would have expected a little bit of a different reaction to announcing a glamorous friendly against one of the top teams in England. Just a few other notes in this game before we come on to that. Newcastle will have 7,200 tickets for the match. They're pretty likely to sell all of those as well. So should be a really good atmosphere. But I guess the big question would be just how many Celtic fans are going to be at the match, because tickets are priced at £25 for adults, which I know a lot of people are getting really frustrated about. It's a bit high for me, I'll be honest. I don't think it's totally outrageous. I mean, it's not £50 they're charging for this, but yeah, probably a little bit on the high side. I'll be looking at maybe something about the £17-18 mark for a game like this. I think more to the point, the issue that people are really having maybe away from the actual price is the fact that season ticket holders will have to buy a ticket for this match. Certainly in years gone by, your season ticket would come with certain perks, and one of those was that you would get a home friendly included in your season ticket. You would also get a home qualifying tie included in your season ticket as well. And I'm not quite sure when that changed. I don't know if you'll be able to help me out. Was COVID the big thing? Can't quite put my finger on exactly when it changed. I guess maybe us qualifying for the Champions League directly 3 years in a row, because this is the first year we've had a qualifier in a number of years. But yeah, gone are the days when you get like a couple of extra games as part of your season ticket. I don't know if even back in the day you used to get the League Cup games included or one League Cup tie. Not sure on that, but certainly you used to get at least 2 games included as part of your season ticket cost. Those season tickets have gone up in price, and now you also have to buy games like Newcastle United and this Champions League qualifier on top of things. So yeah, I'm not going to go on a massive rant about that. I know a lot of people feel really strongly. It's just, again, for me, more evidence of like supporters meaning less to football clubs than ever before. And certainly from a Celtic point of view, it does just feel like it's, I don't know, I was going to say it's almost reaching breaking point, but I think the Celtic support are just so incredible in their financial backing of the club that, yeah, the breaking point is probably a good bit further away. But yeah, I'm not really sure why things would have changed other than potentially board greed, but maybe that's the case here. But yeah, I wanted to take a wee look at just our overall summer schedule so far. Schedule's not really the right word. It's more just a case of the key dates we have so far for the summer. And yeah, I mean, kicking off with the Scottish Cup final, which I don't know if you would even include that as being a key summer date, but that is, of course, the day that we'll go for the treble. It's the final match of season 2024-2025. Now, the transfer window will open around about the 12th of June. Very difficult to actually find any clarification online of exactly when the Scottish transfer window opens and closes. The English one certainly closes on the 1st of September, and I think the Scottish window almost always closes on the same day. So I think we can infer that the window will shut on the 1st of September and will open around about the 12th of June. The top European leagues this year are a little bit different because they've got this FIFA Club World Cup taking place this summer. So basically, for some reason, they're opening their window before that, I think, to give the clubs competing in that competition like 4 or 5 days to potentially sign some players. Their windows will then close during that competition, I think, for a little period and then open back up again. Obviously, there's no Scottish teams playing in this Club World Cup, so ours will be open all the way through. And yet it's usually about 12 weeks. I think that's the maximum the window can be opened for in the summer. So I reckon about the 12th of June it will open. Kind of irrelevant though with Celtic, isn't it? Because we never sign players right at the start of the window. The fixtures for next season's Premiership will be released on the 20th of June. I don't know if you find that a particularly exciting thing, finding out who we're going to play on Flag Day when the first 3 derbies are going to take place, etc. I guess it's the kind of moment when you start thinking about the new season rather than the one that's passed. So that's not a million miles away. We have a couple of pre-season friendlies in the books so far. So as you'll probably know, we're going away to Cork City, Park y Kiev in the south of Ireland. We'll host that game. That's on the 8th of July. And as I've already said, we'll have Newcastle United 11 days later at Celtic Park. Nothing from Celtic yet in terms of other pre-season matches or any potential foreign trips for the team. In recent years, we've gone on big ones. Last year, we went away to the States, United States, played 3 games over there. That was pretty cool. Did we win all the games as well? I think we did, yeah. Battered Chelsea, battered Man City. Year before was Japan, and that was in the summer pre-season time as well. And then the year before that was Australia, but that was during the kind of World Cup break, wasn't it? In the European winter anyway, the Aussie summer. So yeah, it doesn't seem like we're going to be having or getting a big trip like that again. I was looking back at when Celtic announced the US stuff this time last year, and it was in March. We're obviously well into May now. So it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Not sure quite why that's the case. I know we do have a European qualifier this season, but our summer plans shouldn't really change at all because that European qualifier isn't taking place until the end of August, by which time will be 2 or 3 matches into our league season. So we still have July to sort out some trips. Maybe the club will announce some stuff. I feel like we're most likely to go to Europe. Like, I know Austria has been quite popular in the past. I think maybe Czech Republic or Czechia as it is these days. So something like that potentially. Maybe a couple of early pre-season games in Scotland again like we had last year. I thought that was quite good. I was at the Ayr United game when I was back in the summer, and we also went to Queen's Park as well. Yeah, in terms of competitive stuff, Flag Day will take place on the 2nd or 3rd of August. It's tended to be the Sunday in recent years, so I'm potentially looking at maybe a 4 o'clock kickoff on the 3rd of August. We'll then turn attention to the Champions League, and this gives you an idea of how the Champions League qualifying is maybe a bit different to what we've encountered in recent years. There's no crazy early July start. The draw for the round we're playing in isn't even until after we've kicked off our Premiership season. The first leg of the Champions League playoff is on the 19th or 20th of August. The second leg is a week later. If we manage to get through that, the Champions League phase draw will take place on the 28th of August. I believe that's a Thursday. The Europa League one will be on the Friday. We might be in there. Hopefully not. And then a few days after that, the transfer window will close. 1st of September is a Monday. Fair chance we might have the first derby of the season at Ibrox the day before that. Certainly that weekend. Again, that's tended to be what they've done in recent years. So yeah, that's your summer plan for Celtic. I think good to maybe screenshot that and stick it on your phone or something like that, and just keep an eye on various things. Obviously, it's a bit of a long summer these days, and as I say, it's going to feel quite similar to recent years. The big difference being we have a qualifier to navigate. We don't have guaranteed Champions League football. But I guess the positive is that if we do manage to come through that Champions League qualifier, we'll get an even bigger buzz than we have in recent years about qualifying for the Champions League. Tomorrow I'll take a wee look at the latest with that Champions League stuff. I just want to wait and see what happens with a few things. We'll take a look at how things are shaping up and how we're looking on the whole seeded, unseeded thing. Elsewhere, fans found out yesterday whether they'd been successful in the ballot for the Scottish Cup final. I believe those on the Home Cup ticket scheme, which is always a mouthful, who were successful can buy tickets today. So double check there. Aberdeen have already shifted their allocation of around 20,000 tickets. Most of the rest of the stadium will be made up of Celtic fans. There's a fair few thousand neutrals for games at Hampden as well. But very much looking forward to that. Officials for this weekend have been announced. Colin Stephen will be the referee, assisted by David Room and Colin Drummond. VAR is Kevin Clancy. Assistant VAR is Gary Hilland. And yeah, I mean, just looking forward to the next 3 league games. You may look at it and think there's not a great deal to be excited about there. I think it's important that we finish the league season strongly. You only have to go back a couple of years to a kind of similar situation when we won the league, first game of the split, and then faded pretty badly under Ange Postecoglou. And there may have been certain things going on there. He may have, I don't know, had his foot out the door, or half a foot out the door at that stage. 1 foot out the door at that stage. Come on, Hamish. I'm not going to slap myself again, don't worry. Get told off for that. But yeah, at that stage we went completely off the rails, didn't we? Did we lose to Hibs, lost to Derby at Ibrox? I remember St Mirren getting a draw at Celtic Park where Curtis Main was like a couple of inches away from scoring a hat-trick. He scored 2 goals and hit the bar. If Curtis Main had scored a hat-trick at Celtic Park, treble or not, that season should have been remembered as a complete failure, because you can't allow that to happen. But I guess that's the interesting things that happen at the end of the season. What I'm saying here is I would quite like Celtic to win our last 3 games. Like, Saturday's going to be a challenge for the team. Brendan Rodgers has spoken a bit about the cup final clearly being the big priority for us now, and obviously we want to try and win our remaining league games, but I think every decision he makes is going to be made with a mind to the cup final, and having basically a full squad minus Jota available for Aberdeen on the 24th. But Hibs are going to come to Celtic Park on a great run of form, and are going to, I think, fancy not just drawing but winning that game. They're going for 3rd place. So looking forward to Saturday's game. After that, Aberdeen at Pittodrie, bit of a dress rehearsal for the cup final. And then, of course, Trophy Day is always pretty fun. And I mean, these games are going to come thick and fast as well. We're back to midweek football next midweek. So yeah, exciting stuff. I've just taken a wee look at the team that I would play this weekend. Maybe you'd want to see more changes than this. Sinizalo continuing in goals. It's going to be interesting to find out exactly when Kasper's back, and if Kasper Schmeichel returns for maybe trophy day, or even if he's just getting fit for the cup final, do you bring him back for the cup final, or do you go with Sinizalo, who will have been playing, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 games in a row at that stage? I think that's an interesting one for the manager to consider. Is there any point in rushing Schmeichel back when Sinizalo's doing pretty well, and you know that you've got a summer coming up for Schmeichel to get fully fit for next season? A sense of Schmeichel is fit, Brendan Rodgers will want him back in the team, and I get that. But yeah, I've been quite impressed by Sinizalo so far. Back four, we know Alistair Johnson's going to miss this game again. We know Cameron Carter-Vickers is going to miss this game. So Ralston at right back, I think Austin Trusty and Liam Scales at centre back. We saw them at the start of the season. Greg Taylor at left back for me. Midfield, a wee bit of rotation. I know you might be saying, rest Callum McGregor for this. I think certainly rest Callum McGregor at Pittodrie next midweek. But I've gone for McGregor here, Luke McCowan and Paulo Bernardo in front of him. Certainly want to see a bit of Bernardo at the end of the season. Same goes for Yang, who I've got on the right, Dyson on the left, and Adam Ida through the middle. Johnny Kenny, another one that I really want to see, but again, I feel like Pittodrie next midweek feels like a more natural one for him to play, just with that being in the middle of 2 weekend games. But that's us for today, everyone. Not a hell of a lot going on, but still different wee things we can look into. So yeah, appreciate you watching this again. Let me know if there's anything you want me to discuss over the next couple of days. I think a couple of the guys are going to chat to me on Friday morning's video ahead of the Hibs game. So I have some company on Friday, and we'll see what we can look at tomorrow as well.